Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, just doing what I do for you. I got a nice little concept that I came up with. See how y'all like this one. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. Y'all tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and I'm on it every day, is to get all my right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get it together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Pay attention. You can learn. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer it for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Excuse me. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows not that they know, and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about, I came up with a concept with Aset, which represents wisdom, you know that by now, and discernment, that's Anubis. Them two together, bad people, set killers I call them. Who's set? Set is the ego. These are the qualities that you need to have to conquer your ego. Let's go, all right? Your ego, aka set, represents ignorance of oneself. But because of that, it is a bully. Okay, excuse me. But Aset, wisdom, which represents, Aset represents wisdom. Wisdom over ego plus Anubis represents your discernment to know right from wrong, good from evil, will kick Set's ego ass every time. If you don't have them two forces, those two qualities, Set will have his way with you. Okay? Symbolically, metaphorically, that's your ego. If that ego is running wild, all right. But intuitional knowledge, that's what my Aset represents. In this way, to what? To deal with the ego, which is ignorance. How do you combat ignorance? With knowledge. That's what they opposites. They normal mortal enemies. In ignorance and wisdom, two enemies. Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry about that. Intuitional knowledge is wisdom that you gain from experience. Wisdom. But intuition, you have knowledge that you didn't study for. It just, somebody else just came out. Okay, that's what Aset represents. In that way, what? That's the deal. To conquer the ego. Wisdom, ego, they are enemies. And wisdom will always beat the ego, okay? Also, discernment, Anubis, my dude. Knowing right from wrong, okay? He's the classic at the judgment day. At the scales, he makes sure you get a fair shot, and he will guide you to either Amet or Asar. That's his job. And whatever, don't try to con him, don't try to bribe him, ain't none of that happen, all right? That's discernment. It ain't going to change, okay? Now, your ego, which is Set. And the acronym for ego is edging God out. The ego thinks it's God. your internal concept, your idea, or your id, okay, your ego is your personality. And that's cool, but it should not lead the way. Why? Because due to its ignorance of its own self, and it don't know, it thinks it's God, okay, will do things that's what? That will destroy itself, called self-destructive. The hieroglyph for the ego is the man with a hatchet to his head. I said we should get a modern conversion with a guy with a gun to his head. Suicidal. Okay, and it tells you in the explanation set. Okay, the ego will hurt it. It killed the soul. Asar is the soul. The ego killed the soul. Why? It wanted to be God. Again, takes over by any means necessary. Hook or crook. It's uncouth. It had no regard. It will have sex with a man, woman. It don't care. He don't care. That's the ego. The LGB, that's all ego driven. Why? It's all pleasures of the flesh. Anything sexual is ego. Male or female, don't make a difference. If your pleasures is below the waist, I don't want to deal with you. Okay, I know what you're about. So that's the ego self. And when you have wisdom to know the difference between the two and discernment, ego got no chance. Moving on. Y'all call it the devil. I know it as the ego. Our ancients didn't have the devil. We had the ego and chaos. Those are bad things. Because of what? The qualities that they set forth. We have qualities, again, in aspects of our real selves. That's why we give it to you. I break it down for you again. And we have to what? Master those qualities to what? Know thyself. My discernment, Anubis. My soul, my spirit, after Asar, is Haru. We are the sons of God. They had that laid out a long time ago. So every religious ideology, same concept. They said different. Okay, moving on. But that's the idea. In order for you to reach the goal for all human beings, we're spiritual beings having human experience for what? To know ourselves, or AKA master oneself and control the ego. And the first thing you have to do on climbing that tree of life to be yourself, to know that you're going from, is to conquer the ego. Don't kill it. You gotta kill the ego. No. The ego is the dog in you. Why? Because Set ends up fighting for Ra against who? Apophis, the real evil one. So another lesson. But it's all understandable. It's a good story. Wisdom is having experienced something, so now you know about that, what you experienced. Okay? And wisdom will take out the ego every time. The ego state of mind is ignorance. Wisdom is knowledge. With wisdom, the ego can't run the show. It have to acquiesce, mean give in. My ego works for me. It don't work me. It used to. He had his day. And most of us will have to do that until what? We wake up. Bet ourselves. The ego is low. That's low-hanging fruit. That's low-level life living. That's the beastly nature. Beasts act on instincts. If you're a human being and your instinct is, and you act on it, you're beastly nature. Third level on the 7 scales of chakras. Got this. But the ego state of mind have to be controlled. Okay? Why? Because the ego will make your actions regrettable. Why? You did it, you got to pay for it. You reap what you sow. So you do bad things? Well, the devil made me do it. Okay, don't worry about it. Start doing stuff and let God make you do stuff. You'd be blessed for that. Because if you do the devil's work, you had to pay for that. And sometimes the price is a little steep. I tell you, it's self-defeating. Again, self-defeating when you get caught cheating. Don't cheat, okay? I don't want to get, why? Sometimes you don't want to pay them dues. Why? The dues could cost you your life. Moving on. Again, with understanding of one's higher self, that takes what? Knowledge and what? Discernment. Now, what? You have to master that quality in yourself to be discernible about everything you do. I tell you back there, I was discerning between what? Cop or customer. In a few seconds, I got to make that decision. And because I never got caught, I thought I was pretty good at it. At that aspect. All right, where you go? But again, you have to use the qualities of that God or goddess to help you become what? Master yourself. That's the whole name of the game. Take you up the tree as we go. Wisdom is gained, again, from what? The experience that you have with on a daily basis. Not every now and then. I study to live what I study. I teach and I live what I teach. Simple as that. I do what I say. I say what I do. They match. So that's truth to me. That's honesty. I ain't got no problem with that. transparency. Wisdom, again, older people, if nothing else, they got wisdom. What? Life experience. They know about life. They might not know about algebra, all that nonsense, but they know about life. I give life lessons. I can tell you about life. What? That's what I know. Okay, I can tell you about experience. Simple as that. I'm never going to tell you what I don't know. I think that's impossible anyway. Some of us try. If you telling me something that you don't know, you ain't really telling me nothing. Moving on. I just came up with that concept. I'm a conceptualist. I can put stuff together and work to make it work. Ooh, who said that? Me. Yeah, I just mean, man, you should write some of that stuff down. I ain't got time for that nonsense. Moving on. Go again. Because wisdom will give you that ability to make the right decisions when constantly. Making good decisions every now and then is like gambling. I don't gamble. Well, I've been hearing from my brother for years. You can't win it. You got to be in it to win it, right? Okay. You've been in it. Have you won it yet? So what's the difference of you being in it and telling me I got to be in it to win it, and you've been in it, you ain't won it? So spare me that. I speak for myself. I don't need to gamble. I got a sure thing. Okay? With self-knowledge, knowing, dealing with that guy, you ain't got to gamble. Self-mastery, meaning you found yourself. And that means you're mastering what? Your God and goddess aspects of yourself. I love this, boy. I love this. For those who paid attention, appreciate you. Because with discernment, you're able to see what? The past, and able to see what? You're able to see past what? The lies and the BS. You know the truth, and you're going to live and exhibit it. That's my way of life right there. If it ain't right, I ain't doing it. If it ain't true, I ain't telling it. Simple. That's a quality that you can practice, manifest for yourself. That's all. My ability to discern good people from fake, phony people is sharp as a razor. Okay? I've been telling y'all, I see what you're looking at last 40, 50 years. And back then, it was a psychological concept. I think I was thinking a little bit better, a little sharper than the average person. So now I know my third eye open. Oh, I do see you clearly now. I see all y'all fake people. And if I don't entertain engaging or dealing with you, it's the reason why. Moving on. If your ego is not under control, okay, your reaching self-mastery is impossible. What you mean? The ego stunts your growth. You stay right there. That's only the first step. If all you got is one step, you ain't got nothing. You're going to be self-destructive, bunch of jibber-jabber, a whole bunch of nonsense, going nowhere fast, okay? Trust me. If your ego is not under control, that means you're never going to reach your full potential. The ego is the blocker. That's why you got to get him what? On your side. You ever had them guys who but you want them on your side? Why? Because you know they ain't going to stop? Yeah, that's what you want. But you want to be able to control them. Remember, you put them in the position to go do that. Just do that. Okay, fine. But if they in control, man, they're going to tear stuff up. They're going to boil in the china shop. So that concept, meaning they clumsy, they awkward, muscle, no brain. So you be their brain, use their muscle. That's all. And you use your ego for that purpose, the muscle. Moving on. The ego, I love this, killed its own brother. The soul. That's all. He's the sixth on the level of the five: fire, air, water, earth, heaven. He's the sixth on the scale, and he represents what? Man. Not the mark of the beast. He's where spirit becomes the matter. And the spirit in the physical form is the soul. That's the individual soul everybody got. Like Jerry Brown said, I know you got soul. Why? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. Trust me. All right? And he killed his own brother. Why? And was willing because he wanted to be king. Okay? He was jealous. Those are qualities. Being jealous, envious, greedy, narcissistic, all those things are what the ego represents. Those are Satanian qualities. We tell you that. We don't need no devil. You got all those things, that's what the devil, all everything that there from the ego, that's what the devil, same thing. But we try to put it on somebody else. The ego is inside you. Okay, he don't, well, nope. is you. And watch this. And even willing to what? Kill his nephew. You tried that? They fought for 80 years. What they're saying, I call that the internal struggle between what? Good and evil, where inside all of us. I got my little book here. I might do less about Haru, there's different phases. See right here? Now all of these is the spirit that's in everything. Everything has what? Haru that lives. That's the spirit that's in me and you. That's why I use that phrase. That's Mr. Discernment. Okay? You got Haru. That's you. The original right there. What's the appendage? Set. Okay? Your ego. Oh, he a bad man. So you want him on your side. You don't want him driving the car. Okay? You want him in the car. When it's time to get down, oh, he's down. Moving on. I call him the honey badger of the spirit of God and goddesses. But again, where we at? Let me use some matter. Okay, now self-mastery. That's where we are. Discernment. My brother. Okay, got that. We down here. Okay, we give. What's this? We gave each aspect of our personality, ourselves, names. Why? So in qualities that fit the name, so we can study it, give a philosophy to it, put a story behind it, and you can study it and learn something. Everything is put into story form. Learn the plot, the story, you get the message in the story. I get a message every day. There's a message in here. Okay, there's a story with a message that's trying to teach. That's my concept. Okay, been doing it for years. Everybody use it. And wisdom and discernment is needed for what? Self-mastery. If you have no wisdom from experience in life, you stuck on stupid, so to speak. And if your discernment is not sharp, you still what? Stuck on stupid, so to speak. So that you're not doing nothing. You're just going to be buffering around and around, doing the chasing tail, doing the same thing, expecting something different. We know they call that insanity. So pretty much a lot of us insane, don't even know it. Moving on. But with wisdom, I gained my wisdom through my experience in life. I can tell you about that. Hence, rightism, life lessons. Those are lessons I give you. Why? I gained wisdom from practicing what I learned. I didn't just read and, okay, I know that. No, you got to put it to use. And I practice it in real life. I brought it to life in my life. That's how you use it. The training is there. You got to put it to work. You got to make it, use it in your daily life. Again, I know Aset's life story. She's a bad girl. She a bad girl. And only way you would know that, and you can incorporate that by what? Learning the story. The myth, reflect, and meditate. First thing you want to know is her story. Moving on. Just like Christians, know Christ's story. Okay, same thing. You learn he's the archetype of how and what you should be. 2,000 years old. My Haru, go back 10,000. So I'll take my 10 over your 2, moving on. But no matter what you follow, you got to live it, manifest it. So I don't care what religion you practice. Don't care what you call God. How you living? That's what God cares about. Again, he don't just bless people because I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm a Muslim. Allah bless me because I'm a Muslim. No, he can bless you if you do good work and deeds. Moving on, living right, simple. Whatever you call it, how you present it, it all comes down to the same thing. You got to do something to get something. You give good deeds, you're rewarded with blessings. You give deceitful action, you'll be rewarded with karma. You don't know her? She become nodded. And everybody says she a bitch. It's a female. Yeah, she a female. Everybody says she a bitch. We don't like people who give us what we deserve. Now where we at? Okay, now here. I was that. Okay. People respect my knowledge and wisdom about my philosophy about life. I'm only giving you what I know, and you can like it or not like it, but I ain't got to lie. I ain't got to make a whole bunch of stuff. I just give it to you the way it is. Simple as that. I'm giving you the truth best I know. Moving on. My truth. So you can't tell me my truth is a lie. No, that ain't what I'm telling you the truth. The same truth, it don't change. You can use the same truth I use and manifest for yourself. But my discernment have always been sharp. Just use the right way now. Now I look for spiritual people. Back then I look for bad people. Well, people who do what I do. Simple, birds of a feather, and that's just That's a fact, okay? I wasn't hanging out with good people. I hung out with gangsters, thugs, pimps, whores, gangster thugs, all that. I was one of them. Street life. Loved it, okay? But, again, moving on. Did it, done that. Now, Aset. And I still say to this day, I made a decision that Aset was telling me, don't do it. That was back in 1979. Yeah, somewhere around there. 80, somewhere around there. I made a bad decision. I paid for it 3 years of my life. I've been listening to Aset ever since. Just want to give you a heads up. And that's that inner voice. That little voice. And it's funny because a few years ago, my mom said, I'm so glad you listened to that inner voice. Yep. Okay. And that keeps you what? On the right path of what? Self-mastery and spiritual enlightenment, a.k.a. know thyself. But you had to pay attention to that voice. When I didn't, it cost me. I ain't denied that voice since. Moving on. So that's all internal mindsets, concepts that I didn't know until now. It makes sense now. I understand it now. I know them back then. I didn't know a damn thing. But I knew what I wasn't going to do no more. Okay? And what's this? Wisdom is not to be talked about. You can share the experience, but it's all about what? Being shown in your actions and how you live. If you living right, I'll take your advice about life. Why? You living. But if you, hey, I'm not going to take your advice. Moving on. Hell, you didn't take it. Moving on. And somebody giving you advice that they don't take, don't listen to them. Simple as that. Moving on. That ain't hard to understand. I don't care. And I know we have situations, but again, if they're going to give you advice about something in life, they should be proficient at it. Okay? And wisdom comes from what? Just living. If you are old fool, that's on you. If you ain't learned nothing about life, that's a you problem. Moving on. And we get down here. Aset is that voice that you feel in your gut that just don't set well when you what? Don't listen to it. And you follow the ego. You pay for that ego. You pay for that. So that decision, I will never make again. Trust me. In Aset or ego, God is on what? The ego self. The ego self will what? Will kill itself. It's self-destructive. It's going to do the wrong thing. And every now and then, the wrong thing could be the last thing. My favorite story, Icarus. Father told him, son, don't fly too high. Son, melt the wax. Don't get too low. The water, the mist from the water will make the wings heavy. He proficient, living the Father, and he wants to show up. Look at how high I can go. No, son. Too late. He got too close to that sun wing. Again, he didn't get a second chance. So you follow the rules or die. Something that. That's what I got from that. So I've been, whoa, my man. What he said, I was just going to do it. If I'm following you, I'm going to do what you say. My pastor got a phrase. If I say shoot, just shoot. Don't question, just shoot. Okay? I learned that philosophy from him. And when you serve your ego, that means you gave up your discernment, your wisdom to what? Do the right thing. You fell for the okie doke, so to speak. You let that thing control you. And a lot of times, what? 9 months, you got to pay the consequences. Sometimes, a couple of days later, the other consequences you be suffering. So these are all things that's built in. Why? To let you know, we know all this already. This ain't new. Moving on. So, again, for me, I doubled up on my ego. With who? With my wisdom and my discernment. Went all the time. I'm God conscious. I'm not giving up an inch to what? To that ego so that he can have his way with me. Never. Okay? Like my master Mason said. My life, you can take. My integrity, never. Integrity is what? Doing the right thing when nobody's watching. I do that all the time. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right thing, because I got to go. But in closing, may you all let it be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers who know how to use their wisdom and discernment over set have passed away. Trust me. Self-mastery is important.